Hello and welcome to our crafting session this evening. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Jenny McCormack and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, and I'm based in the market town of Brackley in Northamptonshire in the UK. So thank you for joining us today. If you're joining live, do say hi, let me know that you're watching. If you're joining on catch up or replay, whether it's on Facebook or on YouTube, then you can add any comments or ask any questions. You can use hashtag replay if you wish, but basically if you've got any questions, do just let me know. So I'm just going to start with a brand new stamp set which arrived in my box today. It's called, as you can see, Painted Pheasant, and it features this beautiful image of a pheasant. So it's slightly, it's not a realistic one, though it's quite realistic, but it's more of a, well, it's not really a cartoon either, but a sort of watercolour effect. And I'm just going to use our Stampin' Write markers, our Stamparatus, to create a really simple card with the pheasant on it. Now traditionally, certainly here in the UK, you see pheasants on Christmas cards. At the moment there's loads of pheasants around in all of the fields, so although this was designed very much as a Thanksgiving come Christmas stamp set, I just wanted to ink it up and give it a go, and I thought I'd share that with you today. So I have printed out just very quickly an image of a pheasant, so I know roughly what colours, and we've got like a red section around the eye. So this is a male pheasant, red section around the eye, then we've got sort of green blue, and then a little bit of a white collar, and then sort of a series of red brown colours, and then light coloured feet. So what I'm going to be doing is using our Stampin' Write markers to ink up elements of the stamp and stamp them down. So let's give this a go. I'm just going to just leave that one there. So I've got my stamp, so it's quite large. It is, if I measure it on my grid here, it's about 4 inches by about just over 3 inches, so 3 inches by 4 inches, and I'm just going to use some shimmer white card today. Let's move this plate to the side, might make it a little bit easier. And the reason I'm using the Stamparatus is so that I can add lots of different colours to the stamp and re-ink them each time. I have also got this little bit of grass that I'm going to add in. So when you're using the Stamparatus, it's slightly back to front in that you want to position your stamp onto your paper first and then pick it up with the top. Okay, so I'm going to position this really close to the edge, and obviously when you've got the edge of the stamp there is a gap between the edge, so hopefully what I'm going to do is position this right on the very left hand edge, and then I'm going to put my foliage in here, and I'm actually going to pop this onto some of our new Kraft Note cards and envelopes. They come as a pack of 20. You get the cards and you get the coordinating envelopes, but you also get a box. This comes flat packed, doesn't require any glue, and it means that you could gift this as a set. So you could make your cards, pop them in there, wrap it with some ribbon. You could stamp this element first as well if you wanted to before you put it together. Hi Nikki. And give that as a really nice gift. So I ordered the Kraft Note cards and envelopes for the first time. It did take me a minute or two to work out how to put the box together. I'm not even sure that I've done it correctly, but it works. That's the main thing. So I'm just using some shimmer white cardstock on here. I positioned my pheasant on there, and I'm just going to pop my plate down, and looking at it, it does need a good wash. Okay, so I've got my image here that I printed out just to give me a bit of a guideline. Let me bring this down a little bit, tuck this underneath so you've got a better chance of seeing what we're doing. So I think I'm going to start with the head section, and so it's got a little bit of red, and I've got an assortment of Stampin' Write markers. This is Cherry Cobbler, and I'm going to take my glasses off so I can see. And I'm just going to use the broad tip, and you can tell that in two ways. One is because it's got a broad line here and a thin line here, and then it's also got a diagram here and here. And I'm just going to use this around the sort of eye section, like so. I'm just going to build it up from here, and that's one of the benefits of using a Stamparatus, is you don't have to do all of the colouring in one go. The beak here, I'm just going to wipe this down. The beak here is quite a light colour, so I've got a little bit of pale papaya, and I'm just going to use that for the beak and also for the feet. So it's going to look a little bit odd because I'm going to basically fill the bits in between. But stamp that down. So I hope everybody who's watching has had a good day. There we go. And then we've got the eye in the centre. So I've got some soft suede. I'm going to use that for the eye, like so. Like that. And then we've got this green, sort of greeny blue. So I've got Evening Evergreen pen, and I'm going to try that out. And there's a bit of green across the top. I'm not sure if you can, oh, hopefully you can see that. And here. And then there's a little white bit where the collar is, so I'm going to leave that. Like so. Okay, stamp that down. Like so, so you can see this is beginning to come together. And then swipe this off. Not that I need to, because it's being positioned in the same place, it's not going to transfer it anywhere. But I'm going to use, I've got Cajun Craze and soft suede and a little bit of Mary Merlot, but I might switch that out to Cherry Cobbler. So it seems to be sort of more brown on the wings and more red on the chest area. So just going to bring in a little bit of red there and a little bit of soft suede over the back here. And then the tail feathers sort of come out from there. So just give this a go. So I'm not seeing any comments, so I apologise if you've commented. There's nothing to be seen. Okay, so There we are, some Cajun Craze. So I'm just going to make this more of a Cajun Craze colour. And just build it up from there. Now you could just ink all of the colours onto the stamp in one go. Huff on it to give a little bit of moisture, and just add this. So this is Cajun Craze. You could also make this quite a watercolour effect by spritzing it with water if you wished. Okay, so can we see you're building that up? Let's add some Merry Merlot, I think. Just on this chest piece here. And the rest is sort of brown. So I'm going to use, just going to wipe this down and use some Cajun Craze. I could actually use my ink pad for this larger area. And it is a distinctive stamp, so it does have a lot of detail in, which may not get picked up with the pens. So let's just have a look and see. So it's definitely getting there. Just add a little bit more detail in here. Now I did use shimmer white paper, so I could spritz it with a little bit of water to give a more watercolour effect if I wanted to. Alright, let's have a look. It's a little bit more sort of red in there, I think. Like so. So just building it up. Sorry if I'm knocking the light, and I can see my camera's just tilted down, so I hope it's going to be okay. Right, let's see. So I've left this little ring here which is white. That area is green. Just going to put a little more red around that edge. Like so. So do say hi if you're joining and watching, so that I know that you're here. And I'm tempted just to spritz it. If I can see my spritzer, which I had only yesterday. I've been busy recording and uploading videos today, so my desk around the periphery is a little bit, what should we say, messy. That is the simple word. I can't see my spritzer. I just wanted to spritz it a little bit, and I can't even see an aqua painter that I could use either. Okay, not to worry. I want to add a little bit more detail in here, so what I'm actually going to do is grab my ink pad to pop some detail in the centre. And I've got Cajun Craze. Hi Brenda, good evening, thanks for saying hi. So I'm just using this Painted Pheasant stamp set, just something new from the new catalogue, just for something different basically. And what I want to do is just cover up the feet, because I don't really want the feet brown, and I just want to ink up a little bit of that. Not sure that I've got much Cajun craze on there to start with, but I hope you've had a good day, Brenda. Okay, that's a little bit better. It's just coming a little bit deeper. I might just grab some early espresso, and I've got my foliage to go on as well. There we go. So although this is very much a autumn winter stamp set, as I say, there's lots of pheasants around here. You have to sort of watch them, because they do have a habit of dashing into the road. So I'm just adding a little bit of early espresso there around this body part there. There we go. Okay, so you can see that's just getting a little more depth of colour if I just lift that up like so. And it wants a sort of yellow, a bit more of a yellow in there as well. So let me just clean the stamp and add a bit of Mango Melody maybe. Let's clean that off. Grab my pens. There we go, a bit of Mango Melody just to give it a little bit lighter. Oh, brilliant. Oh, decorating boxes, fabulous. Really glad to hear it, Brenda. It's lovely to spend time with the grandchildren, isn't it? I'm trying to work out how old Poppy will be. I try to think. Time goes so quickly, doesn't it? Just whizzes by. Okay, so just building that up with a little bit more of the mango and a bit more in here. Like so. There we go. So that's really beginning to come together. Now, there is a red area around the eyes, and this has got a hollow area. So what I'm going to do is hunt for my aqua painter or a blender brush, a blend pen here, and just pick up a little bit of the red and apply to the eye area. 9. Oh my goodness. I was going to say about 6. It's good that they love crafting though. Okay. So, just going to scribble this on here and pick up a little so that I can just blend that in a little bit. Okay. Just going to take it straight from the pen now. Like so. There we go. That feels a bit better. Could even go a bit darker. And they have a little darker bit under the eye actually. Okay. like that. Just clean off that pen. It's amazing how much sort of transfers with it. I'm just going to use the other end and just blend in this beak a little bit, and do the same here. So this shimmer white card has got a sparkle to it. There we go, and then I'm just going to use this on the tail feathers, like so. So this is just picking up the ink that is already on there and moving it around on my paper, like so. There we go. I'm happy with that. There we are. Okay, now there is, according to this, a little bit underneath the eye, so I'm going to pick this up. So picking the ink up off on here, and then I want to take some of it out because I don't want it too harsh and obvious, and because I'm not the best artist. So adding that bit around there. And in fact, there's a little bit of green there. Oh, thank you, Brenda. I'm not sure it's not perfect by any means. Okay, let's just do that for the beak. Clean this off. Oh, wrong top. Okay. So just going to leave that in position there, and then I'm going to pop this here on the right hand side, and I'm going to have this actually coming off the edge like so. And I'm hoping, yes, that will fit on there like that. Hi Valerie, thanks for joining us. Nice to have you join us live. So I'm just going to use I might just use some evening evergreen on that, or pear pizzazz. I could actually, there's not much in there. I use evening evergreen. And I'm sorry if this is just off the edge of your picture. Maybe you'll just about see it. So just brushing this on. So a good old traditional technique of using the edge of the brush to highlight that and popping that down. And I know it's going to come off the end of just what I want it to. I don't want it up in the air. I want it just coming off. So that is perfect. Happy with that. Do I need any more? No, I don't think I do. Okay. Just pop that out of the way. So there is my pheasant. And I'm just going to add a sentiment. Now the sentiment's on here, obviously designed for Thanksgiving. We've got a pleasant little note, and we've got the word grateful. I think I'm just going to use a sentiment that I have at hand. I've got a thank you. I'll just pop a thank you on there. And then this is going to go on to our new Kraft Note cards and envelopes. I'm going to do this in the same Evening Evergreen. I'm just going to stamp this because I don't think I cleaned this earlier on. Got away with it. Perhaps I did. So just inking this up. You could obviously use an ink pad for this as well, like so. So we are back at Coffee and Card again tomorrow. That's Coffee and Card in Brackley at 3 o'clock. And then in Toaster on Monday at 2:30. There's my thank you. And I could use a blending brush to soften that, and in fact I might just do that with a little bit of Mango Melody ink just to soften the edges. And then this is going to go onto one of our Heidi new Kraft Note cards. So these are 3 by 5.5, like so, and that is going to be layered onto there. But I am just going to add a bit of edging with my blending brush and Mango Melody. Just as a finishing touch to soften it. I could use some blue for the sky and things like that, but I don't want to add too much in terms of extra colours. So I'm just going to use this, and I just keep one for yellows and oranges. Okay, just take the worst of it off there because I don't want it too dark, and then just bring it in from the edge. Like so. Like that. And we're done. So this is, as I say, this is shimmer white card. I appreciate you can't see it, but it has got a little bit of a sparkle to it. Not too much to detract, but it does give a nice effect. Okay, and then around here. This would make a nice thank you card, dare I say it, at Christmas. Okay, like so. If I just bring that up to the screen, hopefully you can see that. It's funny how some colours show on the screen and other colours don't. This is quite a strong orange, but on my screen you can hardly see it. Okay, so I'm just going to literally pop that onto my note card. Just going to use some glue just on the reverse of this. Like that. Hi Louise, I hope you're well. Sorry to hear about your playing in the car though. Hit and run is just not on, is it? Okay, so just placing that on there. Just going to turn it over so I don't move any ink anywhere. Give it a good amount of pressure, and there we are. Nice simple thank you card with that image of the pheasant. This is the stamp set called Painted Pheasant, and I popped it onto one of our note cards. We've got envelopes to match, so I could add the front of the pheasant on here. I could also just take the foliage and pop the foliage on there. Just take that one off, just as a finishing touch, and I could pop that on the inside of the card as well. So I'm just going to use Evening Evergreen. I know this is not straight on my block, but just inking that up like so, and popping that on the edge like that, and then I'll also pop that on the inside of the card, and we're done. So nice and simple. I just thought it was nice to introduce a new stamp set without being too Christmassy. Still a little bit early. I know a lot of people will be starting on their Christmas cards soon, but for a lot of people that's way too far away. So let's just pop this in here like so. So that's the inside, to which I could add a sentiment. There is the front. So cute little pheasant. As I say, it's sort of realistic, but not, if you know what I mean. I can see my eye there has got covered up a little bit by the red, so I'm just going to grab a black pen, just a little drawing pen, and add that eye back in just to make it a little bit deeper. And I could add a little bit with little bit of white as well to make it stand out, but there we go. That's our card for today, a little thank you pheasant card. So thanks very much for joining me. I will be back next week. I will be at Coffee and Cards in Brackley tomorrow at the Lounge Cafe Bar, formerly known as Hummingbirds, and I'll be at Toaster on Monday afternoon. So if you're able to come to one of those sessions, I look forward to welcoming you, and we'll be back next week with some new stamps and probably some celebration items, as we've only got less than 3 weeks left of celebration. So thanks for joining. Okay, hi. And I'm just wrapping up, I'm afraid, but you'll be able to catch this on replay very shortly. I've just been using the new Painted Pheasant stamp to create that card, using our new note cards and envelopes, and they do come with a box. So this would be perfect for a Christmas present or a birthday present. Make up a series of cards, pop them in the box, wrap a ribbon round, and away you go. Smooth that out of the reflection. Thank you so much, everybody. Do have a good evening. Spend some time with your family and friends if you can. Thanks for watching. Catch up with you soon. Bye for now.